Okay, welcome back to warm-up session currently for the Bahrain Grand Prix with myself, Nick Rowland and Scott Woodwiss. Sorry for the slight technical issue there, but we got that resolved and the video shown there from Thrustmaster. We've got a few minutes left of the warm-up session where Woodwiss is currently out front on a 35.7 on those soft compound tyres. Race direction just reminding everyone of the top 10 that you cannot change your tyres from the qualifying session going into the race session, so that's been made very, very clear to all drivers and teams for this revised format coming into this race. It was a little bit different for Australia, where it was kind of just free and open, but the TOA resolved the issue for the race in Bahrain going forwards. As like I said, Woodwiss is the quickest man out there currently. From Patrick DeWitt and Gogo Baldy in both Ground 7 NetRex cars, 36.0 and 36.2, both likely to be on the soft compound also. First hard run compound I would have thought would be Jack Keith there coming from Precision on a 37.4. So this is going to be very, very interesting. We're going to see a different race, I think, than we did yesterday here, Scott, simply because of the nature of how qualifying has now worked, but also the nature of how people are going to use the tyres. It may be something similar to what we saw in China in the real F1, where we have the race essentially coming together at the very, very end.
It wouldn't surprise me if the hard, as they did the hard runners did in China in real F1, if the hard runners decide to elect to switch to the soft compound tyre later on in the race to try and gain the advantage. That's going to make it pretty intriguing as Rasmus Tali goes drifting through turn 7, which is pretty intriguing. Almost lost the backing of the car. Brilliant car control from him. But back on topic, I think that's what's intriguing. So we may even get a situation where, you know, Woodwiss is on the harder compound tyre, and the chasing pack could be drivers like Callum Hayes and maybe even you know, maybe people like Patrick DeWitt and maybe even Keithley and not Keithley, I don't know what to say, Moran and Keithley, excuse me, they're on the soft compound tyre and actually lapping faster, so that could be a pretty intriguing situation of how it plays out. In terms of the guys behind and how they're going to run it, I think obviously everyone's going to probably elect to start on the harder compound tyre. Some of the guys in the back may decide to go soft to try and gain a few positions early on, but obviously that's going to try and probably increase their pace a little bit and try and give them the best possible chance of scoring a top 10 finish. But yeah, but intriguing. I don't believe the World Series race ran the rules to saying you had to run both compound tyres. I think it didn't. Yeah, as I said, so this is the first time that we're going to see it here in the World Championship. But I'm hoping it makes for an exciting spectacle.
I think it very much will do, and I think it's actually spiced up the racing quite a lot on what we're going to see here today, and with the chopping, changing of tyres and what people elect to go on to. Just before we do move to the next session, obviously the race session, give you a quick rundown of how the standings are. Obviously, we've only had one race, so it's as you were and as you finished in Australia. So it was Woodwiss that won the race and got 25 points, from Jack Keithley in second and got 18. From Frederick Nielsen on 15, Dion Kostadinov on 12, Philip Pushkar on 10, Jan Lapchin on 8, Gogo Baldi 6, Rasmus Halley 4, Blair Disley 2, and Patrick DeWitt on 1, which is a precision lead in the constructors on with 43, Twister on 19, Brem GP on 12, Go Speed on 10, Bati Pescara on 8, Crown 7 Netrex on 7, and the new team, Biocross Positive, picked up their first points in the very first race of the season with 2 points, which is an excellent showing for the Biocross team on debut in Australia. Obviously, this race was not run last year, so the previous winners are actually 2010 and 2011 were Woodwiss. So in terms of having a gap year, we're on for potentially a triple Woodwiss win round Bahrain.
We could possibly be. I mean, just to go back to the championship standings, I think it's quite scary already, the fact that Position have got 43 points, and it's more than double that Twister managed to do in the first round, so already they've got double the points of second place. But of course, you said it's only one race, and there's still a long way to go, and as we said, I said earlier on, there's been other people who've been writing the season off already saying, oh, Woodwiss has already won the first race, that's that he's going to be the champion. You forget the fact that we still have 14 races, including this afternoon, to go, and it's kind of a similar situation that we had when Michael Schumacher was dominating with Ferrari, where you'd go into a new season and Michael Schumacher was tipped the favourite, and everyone would, as soon as he won the first race, everyone would be thinking, here we go again, it's going to be the same old story. But you have to remember that it's not just Woodwiss on the grid. We've still got 21 other drivers on here with their own kind of story to tell in the season. We've still got Jack Keithley's teammate of his first full season in the World Championship. We've got Morgan Moran hoping to take the fight to Bono once again and be a championship challenger. We've got GT Omega now, their new guys, now they're tied up with Precision Motorsport this season. We've got, Pescara have come in, who's a very successful team in the SRZ Italian League. I know it's a league that you associate yourself with sometimes, Nick, and you've raced in there before. It's a very competitive league. So they've got pedigree there. And such, so we go to the race session now. And, Fast and Speed are making gains as well, as are Crown 7 Netrex. They're starting to come on strong. Twister's also got a pretty strong driver lineup in Nilsson and Tarley. So it's not just all about Woodwiss. We've still got very, very capable drivers out there, and they can all still bring some entertainment on track for us, hopefully, today.
I totally agree, and also with this revised format in how strategy now plays out, I think the beauty of FSR this season in particular is just how important strategy is. There was a lot of debate over the winter of how it got a little bit tedious, but as we've just seen from that qualifying session, we're seeing completely different strategies and blowing out the water as well.
That is true. I mean, I think that Wish was a little bit surprised. He was a little bit disappointed that no one else was really close to him. I think he was hoping for a better race and for people to try and get closer to him. So I think really hopefully he's hoping that he gets a bit more competition this time. It's not just him running away with it, which I think, in all fairness, I think we're all hoping for that as well. We're hoping for a really intriguing race.
You're absolutely right, and I think what we're going to have now is a competition between how competitive you are at the start of the race on the soft tyre and the hard tyre. But it's Woodwiss that's leading the way, though. He's a pole position man today. From sister team GT Omega of Ivor Calamise with Patrick DeWitt. Got to be one of his strongest qualifying for quite a while for Patrick DeWitt. He's in third place. Indeed. Morgan Moran in fourth for Go Speed. And then we've got Mark Zipley in fifth place for Pescara. Jack Keithley, Woodwiss' teammate, he is in sixth position from Yannick Lapchin in the second Pescara in seventh place. Philip Pushkar is in 8th for the second Go Speed, with John Eric Saxon, who's Ivor Calamise's teammate, in 9th. So we're seeing a lot of teammates all together in this top 10, with then Gergo Baldi, who's Patrick DeWitt's teammate, in 10th place. with Rasmus Tali in 11th and Simoncic in 12th place. And I will let Scott do the continuation of the rest of the field.
Thank you very much. 13th place behind is Dianko Stadanov for Bremen GP. Alongside him on row 7 is Fredrik Nilsson, who was the podium, scored 3rd place out last time in Australia. It's ironic that 3rd and 4th are reverse positions, but they're going to be starting on the 7th row together. 15th is Zolt Nagy in his 2nd race in the World Championship for Fast and Speed. Alongside him, it's the first of the Biocross positive sim racing cars, Marcel van der Linden. He's 16th. Peter Vargas down in 17th in the 2nd Brem GP car, alongside Blair Disley, the Australian, in the 2nd Biocross positive sim racing car. And then rounding out the back of the grid, it's another debutant in the FSR World Championship, Alex Diaz, the Spaniard, in the 1st Jasco PSR racing cars. Giuseppe Marconi in the 2nd Fast and Speed machine. Zuhait's Cabin starting from the back with a penalty from his 10 from Australia. And right at the back of the grid, this time in the 2nd Ash racing car, instead of Villa Lapal, we've got Hungarian Zoltan Chuti.
Yeah, so we're just getting the drivers coming around the final corner now. Chuti's just going into the final corner as the drivers are starting to line up on the grid. Everything starts to cool down at this point for the guys that are already there. So that's the likes of Bonnehuis and Ivor Calamise, Patrick de Witt and Morgan Moran. It's going to be critical for the guys on the soft tyres to get a very good and clean start. That is going to be vital for them at the start of this race. Absolutely crucial that they get away off the line and have no issues. Even with launch control, you can still get the issues. It can still cause you problems. So as long as it happens...
Here we go.
Yep, as we just wait for lights, here we go. 2nd light, 3rd light, 4th light, 5th light, and the race in Bahrain 2013 is go, and a good jump there for Ivor Calamise and Bonnehuis. Great start already there from Patrick de Witt. De Witt's got a great launch off the line, and Morgan Moran's coming towards the inside, going down into turn 1. De Witt holds off. Calamise is challenging Huis. Oh, Zippily around the outside, what a move! Great move on, and a touch there for Morgan Moran. And again, Jack Keithy's just cleaned up the inside as well. Keithy past Moran. Moran's getting mugged by Baldy now. Baldy's had a great start, 10th to 6th. He moves up a position. So a good start for Huis and Calamise, who's scampered away, and De Witt's toiling with it, and Zippely's now the man in 4th place from Jack Keithley.
We've had absolute chaos behind. We've had cars every which way. Pushka was involved in the turn when it's off the grid. We had a twister car without a front wing, and already we've had 3 cars retired. Simoncic is out, as is Desi, and also Zoltan Chuti, all out of the race. I saw also one of the Biocross positive sim racing cars was spinning off as well in the background. So lots of chaos in the back, but fantastic start from Marco Zippily. 4th place in his first FSR World Championship event. He's ahead of Jack Keithy with Moran, who's dropped back to 6th. He's up to 6th, in fact. He's on the harder compound tyre. And look at the contrast here. Look, the front 3 on the softer compound tyre starting to get away as Calamise goes a little too deep into turn 11. And he's chasing after Bonnehuis in the lead. The gap as they go up to the 2nd sector is now, what is it now? It's 6/10 of a second. Huis is staying touch in 3rd. Marco Zippily is 4th. He's the first of the hard compound tyre runners ahead of Keithy. Moran 6th. And looking back to who's moved up, Lapshan is still in 7th. In 8th rather. Ahead of Saxon Kostadynov's come up from an intriguing qualifying. He's up a couple of spots, and Marcel van der Linden is up, I think, 4 or 5 spots from about 16th or 17th on the grid. He's up to 12th already and challenging Peter Vargas, who's also come up through the grid. So they've capitalised from that first lap chaos.
Absolutely, we've got a run for Jack Keithy on Marco Zippily. This is going to be for position 4, and Morgan Moran is lurching as well in the background, and into turn 1 goes Jack Keithy, lays on the brakes, and nudges Zippily just on the front, and he gets by. Jack Keithy is up to 4th place, and it's going to give Morgan Moran... Oh, it's not, because he had a bit of a moment out of turn 3, which has given a bad run up towards turn 4. So Jack Keithy now is the front man on the hard tyres, and he's moved up into 4th position. Zippily from Morgan Moran. Morgan Moran's gone backwards, but actually come forwards 1 position now, which is great for him, and Baldy is challenging all over the back of him. Giorgio Baldi is challenging Morgan Moran very heavily at the moment. As they go down towards turn 8, and no, the cut back for Baldi could be on here as he long gets the power down. No, the Ghost Speed driver got a better drive out of there.
The massive contrast between the guys on the soft tyres. Bonnehuis' lap time there at 37.6. Faster the hard compound runners was a 41.4 for Marco Zippily that time around. So there really is a massive difference of some 4 seconds on these soft tyres. So these guys at the front, Huis, Calamise and De Witt, they're going to have to make the most of that, obviously knowing they're going to have to stop first. And these guys are so really at the moment, the default leader of the race appears to be, on the hard compound tyres at least, Jack Keithley, not counting the fact that these 3 guys will have to stop first, providing they can make these tyres last. Just quickly, Saxon's now under attack from Kostadynoff down the inside of turn 13. He's into 9th, Kostadynoff now 10th. Van Denden's got past Varga, and look at this, Alex Diaz. Look at the 2 Jasco Spain PSR cars already up there, 13th and 14th already. And also, one thing I want to note is that it's a disaster of a twist that both cars are out already. Nilsson and Tali out on the first lap already, and also Zoltan Nagy, so we've lost a hell of a lot of cars. We're down from a field of 22. We've lost 6 cars already, so that was just how many casualties that first lap produced.
Yeah, and Jack Keithley pulled half second of Marco Zippoli, and that was enough to build a gap to not get challenged going down to turn 1, as Morgan Moran has closed on Zippoli up towards turn 4. He's not been close enough this time round. He wasn't very close at the final corner either, so he's made no impression on the back of the Pescara car at the moment, has Morgan Moran on the harder compound tyre. And it's Jack Keithley with the advantage currently, a half second in front of Zippoli. DeWitt's fallen off the back of Calamise to the tune of 1.6 seconds, and Calamise is currently half second behind Woodwiss, so they're trading at the moment, and they're going nicely. Woodwiss has just pulled another 10th out going through turn 10, so Woodwiss is trying to push on and drag Calamise with him. DeWitt's 1.6 behind, and Keithley, oh nice, he's pulled up to 7/10 now in fact for him. He has great runs. Oh, I see, so Zippoli had a bit of a mistake going through 10, and it's allowed Keithley to pull away ever so slightly, and Morgan Moran, now Morgan Moran's obviously running that lower downforce package, so through the middle sector, he's going to really struggle, and he has struggled so much he's a half second off Zippoli. He'll close in the final 2 corners, but again, he needs to run down towards turn 1, and he just doesn't have it. So at the moment, it's not working out for Moran. He's behind Zippoli, and if anything, he's going under more pressure from Gergo Baldi. Kostadinov rides in 8th currently, with Latch in 9th, and John-Eric Saxon, this is either Calamise's teammate, he's just had a moment going into the final corner, run a little bit wide, but Marcel van der Linden, I don't think will have a run. What a run that's been for Marcel van der Linden. You were referring to SRZ before, and he was my teammate in SRZ, and he's had a great start to the race. He's up to 11th.
Huge lock up from Keithley. Moran goes up the inside of Marco Zippoli to turn 1. And the young Italian is not fazed by the French Grizzly behind him. Moran's getting very desperate. He's got a fantastic run to the outside down towards turn 4. And look at this. Baldi's watching on thinking, this is fantastic. I might as well get the popcorn out. As Moran goes round the outside of turn 4, can he make it stick? Zippoli holds his ground. Falsely wide. Now look at Baldi up the inside of Moran up towards turns 5 and 6. He can't make it stick. The Network driver bolts back against just behind the Ghost Speed's rear wing. Fantastic battle for 5th place. But he was talking about how Moran was on the lower wing. We saw this yesterday exactly with Martin Gosby, the precision driver, in the World Series race yesterday. He was on the lower downforce setup compared to his teammate Rob van Starkenburg. He was quicker in that final sector with the 2 long straights between turns 13 and 14 on the pit straight. So Moran's gone the same way on the setup, and he's definitely trying to show that now down towards turn 10. Zippoli being put under pressure here from the Ghost Speed driver behind him. And but a fantastic display already. You can't believe this is only his first World Championship event, and he's holding off the man who finished 2nd in the World Championship last year. It's incredible. And
this is advantage for Huis as well, because if Zippoli and Moran start battling, then there's going to be a larger time lost, and it's going to allow Huis to scamper away, and he is up to nearly, it's 8.5 seconds currently the advantage for Huis already, on a 1:36.1, his best lap of the race, with Calamise on a 36.3. DeWitt on a 36.8. He's the man in no man's land currently. He's 2 seconds behind Calamise and 4 in front of Keithley. Keithley's on a 37.5 on the hard tyre, with Zippoli is now 1.6 seconds behind. And down the inside comes Morgan Moran. This is going to be over 5th place. Late on the brakes is Zippoli. They're going to touch. They do touch. He nerfs him out the way. A little bit cheeky, but he got the job done. But Zippoli's going to have the run on the back of Morgan Moran. Moran has good straight line speed though. Very good straight line speed. He's defending up towards turn 4. Brakes later. Will he get the cut back all around the outside? No, that's too deep into the corner. Where's Baldi? Baldi's going to go to the right-hand side of Zippoli for 5. Is he? No, he's not. He decides to duck back in. Wise decision there from Gergo Baldi. He's having a great run just at the moment in time. Zippoli is close to Moran, but Moran has got that position sorted, so now he will try and pull away and come up towards the back of Jack Keithley, but he's now got 2 seconds to make up on the second Precision Motorsports driver.
I'll tell you, the man who is on the move in the background, that's Philip Pushka, just put on a fantastic outside pass from Alex Diaz for 14 into turn 1. He held the line perfectly, got the run for turn 2, and just watching who turns in, it's tyre smoke central through there. There's tons of drivers locking up their inside wheel, as is Bowley there for turn 11. Shows how hard he's pushing. But yet, now Moran is cleared Zippoli now. He's now got to try and push towards Keithley, because remember, once these 3 cars in front, they may be quick in the outset, including Woodwiss, of course. He locks up Maisie into the final corner. Shows you how hard the young Dutchman is pushing. But of course, remember, these guys have got to pit soon, and of course we don't know exactly how long these soft tyres are going to last compared. Keithley effectively once these three guys pit, he will become the race leader. So Moran is now effectively Moran's net second and Zippeli's net third, but now Baldi's going to put him under immense pressure, as I think behind Saxon may have a little run on the second Pescara car of Yannick Lapshan. He's getting very close. Look at this, Lapshan's going defensive, so he's forcing Saxon to go around the outside, but it's not impossible to pass around the outside here. Just seen Pushka do it, and in round the outside goes Saxon. He's made it stick as well. That's a wonderful pass from John Eric Saxon into 9th place, and behind Pushka has got to 13th. He's passed the second Jasper Spain PSI car, Zuhait's Cabo. His next target is Peter Varga in 12th. So looks like turn 1 is the overtaking spot for the race, because it's easy to pass on the outside just as well as on the inside.
Yeah, and John Eric Saxon took a very defensive line as well up towards turn 4. Great driving there from John Eric Saxon. He went into turn 1. A big moment there. Who's that? Oh, Zippeli! Zippeli's gone off at turn 8. Marco Zippeli's gone straight on at turn 8, had a big moment, and he's come back on behind Marcel van der Linden in 11th position.
The replay just shows, he clipped the curb towards turn 7 and he lost the rear end of the car. Does a full 360, keeps it on the tarmac, just brushes the gravel on the outside. But well held there for Zippeli. That's what that tarmac's there to do, to stop the car from skating off into the barrier. So Zippeli gets away with it this time, but he's going to have to watch his line next time, because that could have been so much more worse. So Zippeli then, his 15 minutes of fame have almost gone up, because he was running in the top 10 place, but hopefully he's got the pace, as we've seen already, to get himself back into the top 10 by race end. But rather unfortunate for the young Italian. Yeah,
absolutely, and we're going to have a battle for 6th, I think, here as well, because the Brem GP car of Dion Kostadinov is having a great run, although he's just gone very, very deep into the final corner, so that's blown that out the door. But Baldi was struggling a moment there, and Kostadinov was very, very close to him, and this has actually allowed John Eric Saxon to close more so now. He's only half second behind Kostadinov, but the Brem GP car is looking fairly strong at the moment as they chase down Gergo Baldi in the Netrex car, who's fallen backwards a little bit. Now, the gap between Keithley and Moran is 1.6 seconds, so it's Morgan Moran in the past couple of laps has taken 4/10 out of Jack Keithley. So even with that lower downforce, Morgan Moran is running very, very sweetly just at the moment.
Just a quick note on the reason why Jenny Simoncic retired. Apparently Jenny stopped on the grid, and Nielsen just went straight into the back of him, so it looks like it was Simoncic just failing to get away.
Oh no.
So, and again, also of course then Rasmus Tali didn't suffer problems as well. Tali spun, and as a result, Naji Hissins. That's the reason why both Twister cars have had an early bar, so to speak. And here's something intriguing. They're watching it on live timing. Now, what's intriguing, the front runners now on the soft tyres are in the 36s. The guys on the harder compound tyres at the front, especially this is from 4th down to 11th, they've all managed to get them up to temperature, because they're now into the 37s. So that's quite intriguing. In fact, Moran, last time around, the best lap times, he only lapped about 2/10 slower than Patrick DeWitt, who's in 3rd place. So the harder compound tyre is starting to come through here. The softer compound is starting to wear on a little bit more in the heat here in Bahrain. Callum locked up slightly into turn 2 in his pursuit of race leader Bono Huis, who is 1.8 seconds ahead of his sister teammate in that GT Omega car. And behind, we've got Keithley, who's now in pretty much in no man's land in 4th. Moran's chasing after him in 5th. The gap is 1.8 seconds. And Baldi is managing to just about shake off Kostadinov. He's still there or thereabouts, with Saxon watching on. And then it's a Pescara sandwich on Marcel van der Linden, with Lapshan and Zippeli around the positive sim racing car, and he's in 10th position as Kostadinov looks to the inside of Baldi into turn 1, thinks about it, but just bobs back behind the Bulgarian and the Hungarian, so to say, and thinks about it for another day. So Kostadinov looking racy. He's had a fantastic start from lower down on the grid, and hopefully he's going to try and repeat his impressive performance in Australia, and then hopefully this time not have too many tyre troubles.
Yeah, Morgan Moran, he did a 37.124, which is very, very competitive in comparison to DeWitt in particular. Jack Keithley's just also done a 137.1, which has actually stabilised the gap between Keithley and Moran now at 1.6 seconds. So it's working out okay for Jack Keithley with that 1.6 second gap between them. As we then have Keithley closing in on DeWitt ever so slightly, but not too much, 5.4 seconds.
We've had another car retire, and it's unfortunate for Ghost. Philip Pushka has retired his car from the race. Couldn't see the reason why. I was just trying to rewind the replay on my screen on the server to see exactly why he's retired, but he's out of the race, unfortunately. So we're already down to 15 cars in this race, which is rather unfortunate, but we've still got some major battles going on. Now then, Huis is coming off the pit straight here, and he keeps going, so obviously these soft tyres are still good for another couple of laps. So possibly we might see them, I think, from what I remember, Marek Godek came into the pits roughly around lap 10 when he was on the soft tyre. So if these guys are able to eke them out until lap 10, maybe lap 11, it might not be too bad for them. So I reckon the harder compound tyres. Well, we saw the two precision guys go run as long as roughly about, I think it was into the almost lap 18, lap 19. So the harder compound tyre can run for another 7 or 8 laps depending on how you use it. The faster the hardest compound tyres that will lead it of the hard compound package, should we say, is Jack Keithley, and he's now still got the gap's down to 1.5. So Moran's just edging closer and closer to the Brit here in 4th position. And behind, we've got Gerger Baldi still holding off this 3-car train for 6th place, with Kostadinov and our John Eric Saxon, who's sailed up to the back of him. And Lapshan is now just ahead of his teammate Zippoli, as I think Van Linden and Zippoli, who gets a big twitch out of turn 4, is battling with the young Dutchman in the positive sim racing car. So Zippoli's trying to make his way back through the field again, and he had a slight battle with Van der Linden. Oh, big moment for Van der Linden here as well. Into turn 8, both locking up. Van der Linden pushing hard, and again a huge slide up. Oh, some lag there, I think, from Van der Linden there, I think. But definitely impressive to run for the positive sim racing team. Score points in their debut with Blair Disley in 9th. Blair Disley, as a result, for the record, is down. He's not actually racing. He's out, of course. He was one of the first few cars to go out in the beginning. So that's rather unfortunate. So all hopes of a points finish for positive are resting on the young Dutchman's shoulders.
36.6 the last lap there was for Bono Huis, so he's still lapping quite nicely. The pit request light has just come on though. We're on lap number 9 at the moment.
And he's in.
And he has.
And
so race leader, Bono Huis has dived into pit lane, and so has sister team GT Omega's Ivor Calamy's dived into pit lane. DeWitt carried on, interestingly.
That's intriguing. So first 2 cars into the pits, and Jack Keithley will go through into 2nd. So this could be intriguing from DeWitt then. I wonder what strategy. He's going to try and eke these out for maybe an extra lap or 2 and try and leapfrog them. He's going one lap longer, which is not ideal because it will allow Huis to get some sort of undercut. Now Huis has come out in 7th place behind John Eric Saxon, but split Saxon and Lapchin, and because Calamy's has just come out in front of Marcel van der Linden, and it was very, very lucky not to nudge him in turn 1 there. Got a good run from turn 2 and 3, so Calamy's has sort of clear air at the moment. So now these guys are on fresh hard tyres against the hard tyres guys that have yet to stop, all those around them. So that's Lapchin in particular in terms of Calamy's chasing him down, and Huis has got to catch the sister teams John Eric Saxon, GT Omega, but then he also has Kostadinov and Baldi. Now this may play back into the favour of Morgan Moran because they've come out in traffic. That's not been ideal for Precision Air because they've come out into traffic behind 3 cars. Now Huis on Saxon should, I would have thought, be relatively easy. It is. He's let him go into turn 11. I didn't think that would be very difficult at all, and it's not. So that's one negotiator for Bono Huis, but he's now got to battle Kostadinov and Baldi. And not let the pace drop too much because Moran's close to under a second on Jack Keithley. Patrick De Witt has gone, obviously he's led the race, and he's now on lap 10 on those soft tyres. And we've done this time he's dived in. So this is now Patrick De Witt from the lead, and what was intriguing is at that time around in the first sector, Moran and Keithley were quicker than De Witt. So obviously, let's see how this strategy goes. Look at that! He just almost skids to a halt in his pit stop, and that's a very quick stop as well. Where's this going to feed him out? Looking back now, I think he might be...
Huis side by side with Kostadinov going down to turn 1. This is over P4. He brakes very, very late, and can he get it turned in? He does. He locked up because Gergo Baldi was locked up as well. And he's got a great run going from up towards turn 4 as well. On the back of Gergo Baldi. Which way is he going to go? Baldi's right in the middle of the track. And he goes to the right-hand side, inside of turn 4, and gets 2 positions in 4 corners, does he? As long as he holds the corner, he does. So those hard tyres have got to temperature nicely. And he's into 3rd place with clear track. He's 4.7 seconds behind Morgan Moran.
And also just behind as well, I was watching, Zippoli has gone, I think Lapshan's had a moment here, because Lapshan I saw him going very slowly. Now what's happened here? Watching back on the replay into turn 4, now, did he lose the back end of the car? Into turn 4 he goes, and a little bit, well yes he did. So Lapshan spins then, and he lets both his teammate Zippoli and Van der Linden through. So he's dropped to 11th, just ahead of Patrick De Witt got through as well. So Patrick De Witt on his fresh hard compound tyres.
Oh, we've got a battle here, sorry, as well. Baldi and Kostadinov have gone side by side in turn 13. And Calamy's just drove around the outside of him, going towards turn 12. That was a great move. And will it do the inside as well? Yes, Baldi spun! Baldi spun, he's gone straight off. Calamy's goes through, Kostadinov's through, Saxon's through. That's worked out for Saxon and Kostadinov in particular. Zippoli and Van der Linden have gone through as well. Baldi got the outside curb coming off 12 and went straight off out into the boonies, but he's managed to get it all sorted out. Van der Linden's now got a run on the back of Zippoli, also for Biocross. And, Zippoli's going so slowly through the final corner there. So Van der Linde's going to have a run, and it's going to allow Baldy onto the back as well. Where's Patrick de Wit? He's 2 seconds behind clear air, fresh tyres. That's going to be nice for him. And there's going to have a three-way scrap going down to turn 1. It's going to be Baldy on Van der Linde, Van der Linde on Zippoli. Round the outside goes Gergo Baldy into turn 1. No, he doesn't. Van der Linde's come back across the nose of him. And now it will be the run up towards turn 4 once again. Great run there, Baldy. Oh, straight to the inside. Great move out 3. He will now chase Zippoli up towards turn 4 as Van der Linde will come back at him. Brakes late, can't get it done though. Zippoli locks up. Baldy back up into 8th.
I'll tell you something, this is really starting to hot up a bit more because Morand is less than half a second behind Keithley for the lead here. But look who's coming up behind them, Bono Huis, and he's on these fresher hard compound tyres, remember. He's already made his first pit stop on these hard compound tyres, and I think you can really see, even that's just the graphic, but you can always see just how much rubber's being formed on the outside here. Look at the rubber on the outside. With all this rubber, the racing line here is absolutely covered it. Oh, and that was de Wit going wide there. I think de Wit's gone wide onto the marbles, and he's almost lost the back end of the car. He keeps his 10th position as Van der Linden's giving Baldy some headaches into turn 11, sticking behind the rear end of the Netrex car as they head through turn 11, and the gap between the front two back in the front is still 6.5 tenths, and we've got Huis a further 2.3 back as they head through the final corner. Keithley just slightly locking the inside tyre. Up the pit straight once again, and they carry on for another lap, so these hard tyres are good for a little bit. But what's amazing is the pace of Bono Huis on these fresh hard compound tyres.
34.7!
Oh, what a tyre. That's 2 seconds quicker than the cars in front. So Bono Huis on these new compounds, absolutely flying up towards the front here, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's in the lead before these two in front of him even stop.
Yeah, the fresh compound hard tyres, well, we believe he's on the hard tyres anyway. Obviously, you've got to use both of them throughout the race, and the first stint obviously he was on the soft, so we believe he's gone out the hards again. That is quite a significant margin. Obviously the fuel's low and he's on the fresh hard tyres, and at 2 seconds a lap, obviously he's got to pass these two, and Moran and Keithley aren't likely to come in for another 6 to 10 laps, depending on their particular window, I would have thought, on these hard compound tyres. But Huis is catching them at such a rate that he'll pass them before they've even pitted.
They will, that's correct. Let's look at that. They're all locking up into here, and look at the marbles forming on the outside of turn 10, just how much wear there is. There's huge lock up from Kavi. Then Kostanov goes slightly wide, misses the apex completely into turn 10, almost lost the back end completely there over the curve. This will put him into the clutch to Saxon in 6th place, and they're all closing up behind as well. Zippoli is just now in 7th ahead of Baldy. Van der Linden and de Wit. Why have I got a feeling someone's pitted in the midst of that? I don't think they have, but going through, Lapshan's back in 11th after his mistake, and just looking back through the field, Varka's down to 12th. He's battling with the other debut on Alex Diaz, and then Duarte Cabo and Giuseppe Marconi running out. The 15 cars still running. We've lost 7 cars in the process. We've lost Pushka, Frederick Nilsson, Zoltnaji, Tali, and also Simoncic and Bisley and Zoltan Shuti. Those three didn't even make it past the first couple of corners, which is a real shame. Oh, look at the battle for the lead! Run goes to the outside. He's really on the inside. Locks up hard. He's gone round the outside before we even get to turn 1. Amazing. And now Keithley's now got Huis putting under massive pressure. Fantastic run. It's those newer tyres, and look at that. Huis is going to get him before he even gets to turn 4. Huis has got the fantastic run, and Keithley stops him behind his team leader. Huis is into 2nd. Keithley's down 2 positions in the space of 2 corners.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Keithley's really struggling on these hard tyres now. We're on lap 14 and he's struggling in particular, but Morgan Rand's making them work, although he has got Bono Huis all over the back of him. And Moran's not going to make this easy for him because he knows he needs to hold him up as much as he can to have the advantage come later in the race. So Moran's not going to let this one go easily. Jack Keithley obviously did, but Moran is not going to let this one go easily, and let's see if Huis can close him in towards turn 13. I don't think he'll make a move here. Or I say that, he's getting close,
Ooh.
Dips out, no, he chooses not to, so through 13, he will now go up the hill, and we'll chase him through 11 and through the right-hander of 12, bouncing the throttle, drops a gear in fact, just to keep in the slipstream, and he does not close him. Moran's had a good run at the top there through 13, as they chase down towards turns 14 and 15. We've already seen how superior Morgan Rand's straight line speed is. Oh, big lock up though. That's going to allow a good apex speed for Bono Huis. It does indeed, but Moran's straight line speed may just completely negate this. Oh, how close is Huis? He's going to get close. He is closing on him, but Moran's
not enough.
Closer and closer and closer. Oh, pushed him right out. Oh, they touched.
Oh,
that's a huge moment. Huis couldn't get the nose of the car back across the other side. They touched, but they managed to get it all just about sorted out.
Woodwiss was very lucky. The car was getting very snaky in the braking. Now he's going to try it again down towards turn 4. Goes to the outside, almost trying to dummy the Frenchman, but he's wise to it. And Woodwiss going round the outside of turn 4. It's not going to work. Moran holds the position for the moment. Keithley's watching on, trying to capitalise on the mistake. Woodwiss is almost literally sitting on the gearbox of Moran's Ghost Speed car. Moran is making this car as wide as possible. Down to 10, and look at the background. Calames is closed right up now. He's on the back of
This has been
Keithley.
brilliant for Calames. This has been absolutely ideal for Calames. I told you Moran was not going to make this easy. He definitely has not made this easy at all. And this has been an advantage Calames at the moment, because look at the gap. He is close to Woodwiss now. The fact that Woodwiss has been battling Moran, and Calames is at good pace, very, very good pace. 34.8, plays 34.7 for Woodwiss. This has been great pace. Moran is holding up lap 15. It's still going to be another 3, 4, 5 laps before Moran comes in. And Woodwiss is battling very, very hard with him. Will he dive on the inside of 13? No, he doesn't. Moran holds it and gets the apex as well. Doesn't lock up, but will we see the same again? But Moran pushed Woodwiss so far wide there into turn 1.
He did, and I was thinking about it again as he looks again down the inside and has to back onto the racing line once again. But now again, will that compromise his exit? Of course, remember, Moran's using a lower wing setup than Woodwiss, but it doesn't stop the Dutchman now looking for the rear wing. Woodwiss is going again to the outside. He's got good straight line speed down towards turn 1 again. Battle for the lead now. Is also Calames has got third on the straight. Down towards Woodwiss trying to go around the outside, but Moran stays in position. Woodwiss stays around the outside. He's taking the lead. Fantastic pass from Woodwiss. The young Dutchman takes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Moran's coming back at him down towards turn 4. Calames is watching on now. Moran down towards turn 4, but he goes around the outside. Woodwiss always goes deep. He does go deep. Moran goes back up the inside of the switchback, but I think Woodwiss has just about got it. Yes, he has. It's been a fantastic drive from Woodwiss on those fresher compound tyres. He's up into the lead, and Calames is up to third.
Yeah, Calames got past Jack Keithley on the straight there, and Calames is now closed on Morgan Moran, and the gap, it's only a few tenths between Woodwiss and Calames. This has been wonderful for Calames, because Moran and Woodwiss were battling so intensely. It's allowed Calames to close right up, and he's underneath the rear wing of Morgan Moran now, so it's going to be Moran now defending from either Calames. Jack Keithley's fallen to nearly a second behind Morgan Moran, but that's been okay for Keithley because he's held pace with Moran. Obviously, they're on the same strategy. Moran and Keithley, but now it's Calames in the middle and the GT Omega that's got to make the impression on the back of Moran as they go through turn 12. I think we'll see another overtake possibly into turn 1. Depends how feisty and how wide the elbows come out for Morgan Moran again.
Well, Calames is putting him under massive pressure again, the same as Woodwiss. I think even Calames might even get it done before the final corner. He's up the inside and Moran can do nothing about it. Calames up the inside, he's into second place now to follow his sister teammate, but Moran gets a better switchback out of the final corner. He's now got the run down the pit straight. He's going to the outside now. Calames tries to defend, but look at the straight line speed from Moran on pure horsepower alone, and Moran gets the place back before he gets to turn 1. Calames breaks deep into turn 1 once again and holds the place. Then Moran is really fighting and trying to keep on these hard compound tyres. Remember, Moran and Keithley haven't stopped yet. These guys in front have.
Yeah, that was great for Calames to make sure he got that back up towards turn 4 and he won't get it stopped there. Up the inside, sorry, there, and he doesn't. So Calames is now up to second place, 1.1 behind Woodwiss. So Calames, that's worked nicely for Calames. He's passed Morgan Moran already. And now Moran is, Keithley's only 7 times behind Moran now. Moran's had to defend once again. So let's see if Keithley can make an impression. But we're on lap 17. So you would think that fairly shortly we should see a Ghost Speed and Precision pit stop.
Well, we'll have to keep
behind then, just to update everyone, by the way, it's Kostadnov's in 5th place, and just 1 second behind, and probably one of his strongest races for a good while, is John-Eric Saxon in 6th.
And I think he's closing on Kostadnov. Let's look at his last lap times looking through the race. Last time around, Saxon, he was quicker. Personal best, I thought, a 36.6 compared to Kostadnov's 36.8. He's already about half a tenth up in this first sector. It's a personal best first sector for Saxon as well. So Saxon is closing. So not only is he having a strong race, he's actually looks like it could be even getting better if he carries on.
Yeah, it very much could be. He's 1.2 behind Kostadnov, so Kostadnov's had a particularly good lap this time round in the Brem GP. But Saxon's thereabouts. Marco Zippoli is some 4.6 seconds behind, and De Witt has not really had any sort of impression like Calames and Woodwiss have had on these tyres at the moment.
He hasn't at all. He's wearing out the softs, and maybe he switched to the hard compound tyre when he made his stop, because he's definitely not on the same pace as these two. But Woodwiss has the lead then from Calames in second. Moran is still ahead of Keithley now in third place with, as you said, Kostadinov and Saxon 5th and 6th. I'm just keeping an eye on this battle that's also going on for the final points paying positions, and Lapshan is now under pressure of Van der Linden. Now, did he pass? Lapshan 10th place then on a plate. So both of the Pescara cars now into the top 10, and Van der Linden's not going to let it go away too much, but Bowley's down in 9th place with DeWitt in his teammate in 8th, and Zippoli still holding station in his first World Championship race in 7th. Good performance from him so far.
Very good, very, very good run. Kostadinov is actually pulled the gap now to Saxon at 1.5 seconds on lap 18. Zippoli is getting a pretty menacing charge from DeWitt at the moment. I believe on the hard tyres, but I'm not too sure how to compare the difference because Huis and Calamies have been in the 34s. Not too sure if they've gone back out on the softs again because DeWitt's only in the 36s, which would imply he possibly is on the hard tyres. I'm not too sure how that's worked out at the moment because DeWitt's pace, if he's come out in the same strategy, has not been good at all.
Quick note just saying that apparently from our director that Bono is slow because he's on the hard compound tyre. Well, the pace is still pretty good. He and Calamies are still the fastest men out on track at the moment. They're still running 35.5s compared to the guys behind them.
last lap, so it's still strong pace even if he isn't the hard tyre.
There's still a second faster than the cars behind. And remember, of course, we're into now lap 18. Or not lap 90, we've run 18 laps. And remember, both Moran and Keithley still haven't made their first stop yet. They're still on this hard compound tyres. They're making the most of it. So and they're not actually letting Huis and Calamies get away from them too much. So I wonder if we talk about this course all through the build-up for qualifying and through qualifying and the warm-up. I wonder how it's going to come back to Moran and Keithley as Moran locks up again into turn 8 with Keithley right on the tail of him right now. He's managed to close the gap a little bit. But so I wonder how this dynamic's gonna fall back into place for these two. I wonder possibly if they're going to just take advantage in the final stops when they go onto the soft compound tyre for the final stint, and these guys possibly switch onto the hards. Because it looks to me as if these guys, as you said, still on the soft compound tyre, still lapping a second quicker, so not exactly the slowest, the other fastest men out on track, both Huis and Calamies. But it's intriguing that even though these tyres are 20 laps old, they're not letting them get away too much.
No, they really have not let them escape too much. And Moran and Keithley's pace has been very strong on these tyres. And Keithley is closing in on Moran on lap 19. So we are into the window now where we would see these guys probably pitting for the next round of, I would have thought, hard tyres again. So we could see it happen where Keithley and Moran decide to pit within the next couple of laps and switch tyres, as Huis is now 1.5 seconds in front of Calamies. Both lapping at quite similar pace. Bonahuis a few tenths advantage over Calamies at the moment. Behind them, Kostadinov has pulled to 1.9 seconds over Saxon and 5.6 seconds in front. DeWitt might have a run here on Marco Zippoli going down to turn 1. He does. And up the inside going to turn 1 is Patrick DeWitt on Marco Zippoli. Zippoli runs very, very deep into the corner. DeWitt's going to get the cut back. Is he? No, Zippoli just about holds on around the outside.
Does indeed. That's stringent defending there from Patrick DeWitt. They're holding on, but holding on to his 8th position. Zippoli now is really coming of age here at the moment. He had a fantastic run in the World Trophy in Australia when he managed to put a fantastic win after a very unpredictable race. And he's definitely showing he's got what it takes to hold his own in the World Championship, and that could be even a seat that puts Eros Masculia under threat possibly, because Masculia, of course, was one of the main drivers near the end of the 2012 season. But anyone that's unsure, effectively, the Pescara team have taken over the slot that ATR Development had from last year, but of course, some various team issues forced them to give up that spot, and of course Pescara have jumped in, and they're a very welcome addition to the World Championship. Of course, as we've talked about, they've a very established name in the Italian SRZ F1 league, and they're definitely pushing up, so just trying to expand their horizons here in single-seater sim racing, and they're definitely showing their pace already, especially since Lapchan was very quick in the opening stint in Australia on the soft tyre. Lapchan himself is still in 10th place ahead of Van der Linden. And quickly looking back, the two Jessica Spain PSR cars, not as close as they were in Australia, but they're still running pretty much in team formation in 12th and 13th. One man who's really struggling in this race and this season so far, Peter Varga, down in 14th. He's second to last of the car still running. And of course, Giuseppe Marconi back in 15th. Just touring round and making sure at
Saxon's
least
first
finishes
round
the
to
race.
pit, by the way, there, Scott. Sorry, Saxon's
Yep,
coming
there
to
he
pit
goes.
lane. He's the first one to switch over tyres on lap 21. So John X Saxon is coming to pit lane, switch to tyres for GT Omega. He's going to come out in front of Alex Diaz, is he? He does. This is going to be crucial because he'll need the run up towards turn 4. He is out in front of Alex Diaz. That's critical there for Saxon. And he's got good exit as well, so he won't be challenged up towards turn 4. Good run.
So, heading into towards the halfway stint in the race, and Woodwiss has the lead. And Keithy Kostanov slightly locking up then, so this could be intriguing. Saxon's the first man to pit, and I'm guessing all the other teams around who are on the hard compound tyres, so that'll be Precision and Go Speed, and of course there's other guys such as Pescara. They'll be looking at that and thinking, right, that's the cut-off point for the first round of stops then. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see Moran and Keithy stopping in the next couple of laps then. Kostanov still holds 5th, and DeWitt is now still holding, he's past Italy, so we missed that completely. Actually, a lap ago, apologies for that, I missed that completely. Oh yes, there we go. We've got Woodwiss and Cummings are in again. So that's surprising. It weren't expecting that at all, and also Kostanov's in as well. So Woodwiss and Cummings already in for their second stops. That is something we weren't expecting at all. So could this even be a 4-stop strategy?
Yeah, I think this is what's happened is that they've opted
And Keithy's in as well.
They've opted for 4-stop strategy here. That's why Woodwiss was so adamant in getting by, and why it's actually worked even better for Calamise. DeWitt he's the main man now because he's now split both Woodwiss and Calamise. Calamise, well, I thought they would have gone on to the softs again. They'll probably sprint on the softs again and then go onto the hards towards the end of the race. As Woodwiss now is well, he's just a few tenths in front of Patrick. Patrick's he's performing behind Woodwiss and he's in front of Calamise. That's the one. 1.2 in front of Calamise, and Baldy is behind Calamise. So Woodwiss is going to try and scamper away, but Calamise has got to negotiate round DeWitt.
He has indeed, and also a couple of other guys that did actually pit for their hard tyres. Keithy came in for a pit stop as well. He exited, he's back out in 6th behind the Yannick Lapshan. 7th,
yeah, that's not worked out for him either, because he needed clear air to get by Moran.
And speaking of Moran, he's actually in clear air, completely in release. This is working out brilliantly for the Go Speed driver, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if he comes into pit on this lap, because he'll have seen possibly that Keithy's pitted. We'll watch him now as he comes to the final corner, locks up slightly. Let's see, does he hold right and go into the pits? The answer to that question is no, he carries on. So possibly Moran thinks he's still got life in these tyres yet. Crosses the line. Let's look,
yeah, he did. He just did a 35.9 as well. That's strong. That's strong pace from Moran there. If he's still lapping like that in the Go Speed, and also the fact that here we go up the inside goes Jack Keithy into the final corner on Yannick Lapchin and gets the job done. So Keithy's
that's key.
It's taken a lap, but he's passed Lapchin, and Lapchin actually pits now as well. Van der Linden carries on.
Yep, so Lapchin's making his first stop on the hard tyre, so that's going to be pretty crucial. See if anyone else dives into pit lane. The 2 Jasco Spain PSI cars in the background, they are staying out. And of course, this can be intriguing because Lapchin's going to exit. And where's he going to be in relation to his team? I think he'll be, actually no, he'll be behind him in a moment. There they go, past the pits. And he will rejoin behind the second Brem GP car of Peter Varga. So that's going to put him out in 14th. So at least Lapchin does have some clear track. And I think the man he's mainly racing is Marcel van der Linden, who is up there in 7th. And he's also just been passed by Jack Keithy. So this is going to be quite key to now that Marcel van der Linden has fairly clear track in front of him now that Keithy's zipping away from him. He's going to want to use that as much as possible. But I'm guessing now that we've still got those one-stoppers to pit then. DeWitt, of course, is still going to make his second stop.
We've got an interesting strategy battle happening here. Calame's just gone fastest through sector 1. He was catching DeWitt, and DeWitt has actually held him up through the mid-sector, and it's allowed Woodwiss to pull away. Bono Woodwiss is only 11 seconds behind Morgan Moran now. He's taken a few seconds out of him already as he goes through the mid-sector of the lap, and he should improve once again through the mid-sector. He does. So he's chasing down, and it's Calamise that's in a bit of trouble at the moment. He's got to get past DeWitt sooner rather than later, because he's already fallen 2.7 seconds behind. He was only just over a second before the stop, so a slowish stop, and falling behind DeWitt, who is so slow into the final corner. It's not worked out for Calamise at the moment. Now he's got to try and make the advantage. Bono Woodwiss is on a 34.7. He's carried on, so here we go. Calamise on DeWitt, going down to turn 1. Breaks later, he does. DeWitt's pushing him to the apex. Gets the job done though. Up goes into third place goes Ivor Calamies. Now he can chase down Bonnehuis, or at least try to. 2.5 seconds behind.
This is going to be key. He needs to make that past it, because if he didn't, that would have been disaster. And also look behind him, we've also got something interesting developing, because Gerger Baldi's giving Jack Keithley some headaches for 5th place into turn 4, and the Hungarian is definitely giving Keithley something to think about here, because Keithley's on those fresher tyres. Baldi hasn't stopped yet, at least I don't believe he has. Any more drivers that are pitted yet? No, Alex Diaz has. He's just exiting the pits now.
Yeah, sorry, you're absolutely right there. Baldi's not stopped. I think Keithley's just got by him, so Keithley should try to progress up. So
yeah, you're right, he hasn't stopped. And the other's Miranda, of course, because he's carried on.
Yeah, Keithley has stopped. Baldi is yet to stop, so he's carried on. Van der Linden is also carried on. So the next man that stopped is Kostadinov, and he is 1.1 seconds in front of Saxon. Saxon stopping in that lap earlier has actually gained him nearly a full second, but the Brem GP driver of Kostadinov is having a great run. So we should the next drivers I would have thought being to pit lane will be Baldi and Marcel van der Linden. Marcel van der Linden, we should also have Morgan Moran. He's still going. Morgan Moran is still going. He's on to lap 25, yet to stop, and he's still going. 10.5 seconds the gap between Moran and Huis.
Well, he surely can't be thinking about one-stop strategy, because that's really not going to work. I doubt that if he does pit
well, they can't. Well, no,
he can't.
Not a chance. Not a chance. They'll never get to the softs to the end on a one-stop strategy. Never get the softs to the end.
Unless maybe he's looking at it this way. Maybe he's going to split the second half of the race into two parts. Maybe he's going to try and make these harder tyres run for the halfway in the race, and then do effectively the two halves of the second half of the race. Effectively the last 2 quarters of the race on the soft tyre. That could be maybe a strategy that Moran's going for, and that could actually work in his favour. That could work in his favour on that one.
It depends when his cliff comes though, because if his cliff comes now, then he'll be screwed, because he'll have to go even further, lapping quite a bit lower than what Huis is doing. So that wouldn't make a lot. I don't even think that's the quickest way to get around here either, to be quite honest with you. Going a very, very long on hard tyres and then doing 2 short stints on soft tyres, that to me doesn't seem the quickest. In fact, he's battling oversteer going through 11 and 12 there as well. He's only in 5th gear running up the hill. I know he's on the lower downforce. I really don't think that'd be the quickest way to do it, hard, soft, soft. I think that's, well, it won't be the optimal way for him to go. And if he is doing that, then fair play. But I just don't think the pace will be there come the end of the race when he's got Huis steaming up behind him. And likely to be Calamies as well. Yeah, there'll be a pit stop window, but he'll close so much. What's that last lap? 36.6 that last lap for Morgan Moran. So that's a 36.6 plays Bonnehuis on a 35.0. So yeah, there you go. There's 1.6 difference there. That's a big difference between Huis and Moran already.
You saw that. In fact, Huis was a full second quicker in that middle sector. So it's pretty intriguing. Moran.
That might be just downforce alone, though, because obviously the downforce is significant between these two cars at the moment.
Of course. What's intriguing, of course, is that Moran is pushing as hard as he can. He's having a massive lock-up every time through the into the final corner. So not only is he trying to push as hard as he can, but he's definitely not doing his tyres any favours if he keeps locking up like that. And again, a little bit of wheel spin there, just a little bit of tyre smoke being kicked up out of turn 8 there. So he's definitely pushing these tyres as much as he can. Huge lock up again into turn 2. Look at that huge trail break through there.
You can tell Huis is pushing as well. He's pulled to 3 seconds over Calamies now as well.
As well, so that's definitely good. So those guys still on the softer compound tyres. DeWitt, of course, is up to 4 through the stops and on the strategy. Keithley, of course, he's pulling away from Keithley as well. So Keithley's not doing. So in fact, Keithley's now pulling away back away again from Baldi. So he's now making his I'm guessing on the harder compound tyre, he's making them work now. I think actually in some ways Keithley's on the better strategy than Moran, because he's come in earlier and he's.
I agree. He's only 40. Keithley's only 14 seconds behind. It's lap 26 of the race, and Moran is going into pit lane now. I bet he'll pull right and go into pit lane now.
Yes, there we go.
That to me is too late. I think I really don't know what the Ghost Speed boys are playing at here. That's too late into the race, and that's still not the opportune for two soft tyre stops.
No.
So I don't think they've got that right, to be honest with you. And Keithley will go by, because there goes Calamies and Huis.
Yeah, here he comes down the pit straight. So yeah, that's not worked out for Ghost Speed.
Calamies goes by, DeWitt, Moran. Actually, they're going to be quite close together. No, Keithley is in front. Yeah, Keithley's in front. Obviously now Moran's going to have fresh tyres, so he'll probably chase down Keithley a bit.
Sorry, I thought for a second Keithley thought he was just about I thought he yanked the handbrake for a second, because that car just sharply turned, the rear end came around very sharply into turn 1 there, so obviously he must have got over excited that he managed to beat Keithy beat Miranda out of the pits, and almost lost the back end completely there. But yeah, Keithy is on the better strategy, as we said, so up to 4th, Moran's down to 5th, and also another person who we said hadn't stopped, it was Gergo Baldi, and he has just pitted, so it looks like he's on a similar strategy to Moran. He's back out in 11th ahead of Alex Diaz. And also, whilst we were talking a couple laps earlier, we had Giant Cabo pitting, and also Peter Vargas in for his stop. So, this
on
really,
optimum strategy here, Scott, I actually think Moran's gone about, I'm just trying to work it out, I think he's actually gone about 3-4 laps too long.
Yeah.
Keithy, obviously, he'll come back towards Keithy now, which is fine, but how does he play the rest of the race? Because Keithy will come in again and have more pace, because he'll pit earlier, and Keithy will still be able to run the softs to the end of the race after that final stop, so... I don't know what Moran's doing there. I think he's gone too deep into the race on those tyres. I think he lost too much to Wheat on that one lap alone, 1.6.
Yeah, I think he stayed up too long, he lost too much time. I do genuinely agree. Now here's something you may have missed. Look who's popped up into 5th place, John-Eric Saxon. He's passed Kostadinov now. We didn't see that on camera.
Hang on, has Kostadinov had an issue there because he was over a second in front of him.
He's gone through to and locked the inside tyre, and that's what he's got his right rear tyre on the curb. Haas spins it, just keeps it off the barrier, and Saxon comes behind and says, "Thank you very much, I will have 5th place."
It's game on though into turn 1. The Brem GP car is closing on the GT Omega. He's not got it done though. The GT Omega of Saxon stays in front, but Kostadinov, we saw before that Kostadinov generally had a few tenths advantage over Saxon, but Saxon's going to try and battle Kostadinov, but Kostadinov, I believe, has just that couple of extra tenths advantage that he needs over Saxon at the moment.
Well, Kostadinov's definitely trying to make up for his mistake that he made. I'm sure he'll be a bit more careful into turn 10. Oh wow,
33.4 from Moran, sorry. Just a great lap there, it's more than Moran.
Absolutely, I think that's fastest lap of the race, I think, isn't it? 33...
Oh, he was in 35.9, his 35.9 is personal best, but his optimal lap could be a 33.4. Oh, so he's got held up somewhere along the way.
He set the fastest first sector of the entire race so far, and that was...
sorry, he's on the last two sectors of the previous lap, he was quicker, but he lost time in the first sector.
And look at him now. He's right on the gearbox.
Stuck in the middle. He's got a problem though, he's stuck behind Keithy, so he's going to lose time. Now, Jack doesn't need to battle Moran too heavily here, because there's a 3-lap disadvantage to Moran on his tyres, and I
think he knows
I think Jack's on the right thing there. He doesn't need to battle him at this point in time.
Yeah,
or will he come back at him?
He knows that Moran's on optimal strategy. I think he knows that he's even played it wrong. In fact, he might even be cheeky and try and repass him down the straight here. Let's have a look then. So down the pit straight he comes then.
May as well.
May as well just to rub it in.
Well, if Moran's going to defend like that and hold on and try and hold on that now.
Him. Almost dummied him. That was close. Oh no.
He half spun it as well.
I think it wasn't even contact. Let me have a look at it on the replay. There may be a bit
of contact. I think it was an
ever
so slight nudge on the rear right tyre for Moran.
Let me have a look.
The front left of Keithley.
Down to turn 1, he defended. Was there contact? Yes, there was. Keithley did nudge the right rear, and it did cause. That was what caused him to lose traction a little bit. So there was a bit of a nudge. That's a bit. Moran was pretty stringent in his defence, but then again, Keith did try up the inside. He was a bit cheeky, so that's effectively that's a race. If Stu was going to call that, I'd call that racing incident because
Moran needs to really pull away. The problem he's going to have now is he's going to come up to DeWitt pretty quickly, and he's got and DeWitt will defend from Moran for sure. So these tyres will work quite nicely for a few laps for Moran, and I don't know how far or how deep he'll go into the race. But Keithy will come in again, and I suspect will then go back out on the soft tyre. Moran's obviously got to pit again and go on the soft tyre as well. But when Keithy pits for his second round of hard tyres, he'll close this gap to Moran that Moran is currently pulling out at the moment. So they'll probably come out quite close together, but I still think Moran's gone a bit too deep on that first stint.
He's closing up on DeWitt now through this lap already. Looking at his sector times, he's at the fastest second sector of anyone else. He was he was a full 8/10 quicker. In fact, he's at least 8/10 quicker than anyone else around him. So effectively, he's really flying on these guys. But again, it's kind of giving Moran and goes through false hope because as we keep saying, he's gone too long on this first stint. So yes, he's setting quick times, but I have a feeling it's all going to come for nothing because he's really going to just drop back by the time he comes in for his final stop. And I don't think he's going to get the full advantage from being on those soft tyres because yes, he's going quick now on these harder tyres, which are fresher than everyone else around him. But again, it's just not going to put him in good stead towards the end of the race. In fact, really, he's ruined. He's made his own downfall. He's ruined his own chances of winning this race today.
I don't think he's ruined it quite yet, because his pace at the moment is good, and he kept up good hard tyre pace towards the end of the first stint. The problem is that Keithy came out on and was lapping even quicker than he was, even with good hard pace towards the end of the stint, and he did that for about 3 or 4 laps. So that's why Keithy might actually reap the benefit towards the end of the race. The thing I'm not too sure about is where Woodwiss and Calamy's fit into all this at the moment.
Well, it's going to be intriguing. I'm just watching him all go around. He kept close to Patrick DeWitt and kind of a bit of a nudge in the radio visa saying, come on, get on with it. I need to get past you to try and get 4th, 5th, 3rd place here and chase after the guys in front. But he's definitely closing in. But you're correct, of course. The two guys in front, there are alternate strategies to everyone else around them. It seems to be working out already, because look, Woodwiss is faster than Calamy's on outright pace, but Calamy's is having a fantastic run in second. I think he's just hoping this time around his brakes doesn't fail him. And I hope I haven't cursed him this time. It's behind. Moran makes easy work of Patrick DeWitt. Oh, in fact, gives him a shove. Look at that. Came together, touched wheels. There's no need for that, Morgan. Come on. He gave you enough room, I have to say. But Moran takes 3rd then. And now he's going to try and chase after Ivar Calamé as best he can on these harder compound tyres. In fact,
DeWitt's come back at him towards turn 4. He's up the inside and he's given him a nudge. And I don't blame him, because I don't know what Moran was doing trying to move across. That was a cuckoo moment for him.
He gave him 2 nudges. I
really don't know why he tried to move across him there. He had the line, and yet he still tried to come back across DeWitt. I really don't know why he tried to push him across like that. There was no need for that amount of work. But DeWitt got him up towards turn 4. Well, would have gone up towards turn 4, but Moran has held on. But moving in a straight line like that, especially when you're side by side, I'm not too sure about that one. That seemed a bit of an unnecessary move from Moran there.
You would have thought from all these incidents last year that he probably would have learned from all these mistakes. I mean, you remember last year, on 2 occasions, he was agonisingly close to losing his licence altogether. In fact, he did lose it at one point, but then Ghost Speed appealed, and they gave it back to him. But so you would have thought Moran, he's a quick driver, but he just gets a bit too over-enthusiastic, and he kind of takes 1 or 2. There was something around to the back of my mind that maybe he did that just in his way of saying, you know, that's for holding me up, Patrick. I'm trying to go through to the front of the field.
He wasn't holding him up, though. He didn't actually he wasn't holding him up at all. There's no need to make that sort of statement, though, to say he was holding him up. DeWitt's running his own race. I don't see why Moran has to move around in front of someone just because he's running his own race.
No, I think probably Moran's probably taking that a bit too, taking that the wrong context. I think Moran's I think in some ways he may have realised that maybe his strategy's not working out. I think he's getting a bit too desperate and worked up, maybe. So, that's a lot of lag.
Well, he may be, but I'll tell you what, he's definitely closed in on Ivar Calamy's. He's only 2 seconds behind him.
Yeah. Really taking advantage of that.
So last time around, whatever the case is, he's fired up, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing. So last time around, he was 6th quicker on that lap. So 34.8. In fact, he's faster than Woodwiss as well. So 34.2 for Moran compared to Woodwiss on a 34.9 and Calamé is on a 34.8. So these guys, the first guys into the 134s. Keithy's also last time around did a 134.898, and that was personal bests for Calamé's and Keithy that time around. So it's not the fastest that they can go, as Woodwiss sets a personal best in Sector 1 also with a 30.3. So this is intriguing now to see exactly when. I'm guessing then that at this point in the race, Woodwiss and Calamé are expecting them, if they're on a 4-stop, they're going to stop in the next couple of laps. Because it's amazing how quickly 10 laps goes, because it's already got down to lap 31 now, or lap 32 we're on at the end of it. So I'd expect these guys to pit relatively soon for what I'm guessing would be their 3rd stop, unless they've already switched onto the hard compound tyres now, as Moran gets a huge twitch out of the final corner, I just saw in the background. So he's definitely showing that he's got some pace and that he's pushing. Let's see what the gap is right now across the line. Across the line they go.
Well, Woodwiss just did a 34.666, which is one of the fastest times that he's done. So he's still lapping in the 34s. Moran is likely to be on the hards once again. So at the moment, with the pace that they're running, Moran's last time was... Oh, I've just missed that, unfortunately. But he's running lower than that.
34.0. 34.0.
34.0, okay, so 34.6 plus 34.0. So you'd have to say that Moran is also on the hards at the moment. So they're both on hard tyres. Are they both on hard tyres? Well, how far can Calamé... Yeah, they must be on hard tyres, in fact, because they've not actually pitted again. So we'll probably see them two do hard tyres to quite far into the race now, and Moran will have to obviously stop again for softs yet. So it's just a case to see now how far Moran and Calamise can go before they've got to go and get their final stint of hard tyres, I would have thought.
Oh, battle for 9th. Lapshan is under pressure from Van der Linden at the moment. They almost went side by side through turn 4, but Lapshan holds the place for the moment. He's definitely... Oh, now hold on a second. Now, was that a moment for Zippoli? I just saw him... I think he's had some bit of a...
No, he's just locked up. I think he's just locked up quite heavily because... but he... Did he? Oh, yes.
Slightly just twitch of the rear end, but he caught it. So I thought he was going a little slower
He's
than usual.
He's locked up a hell of a lot, though, with Zippoli, and Lapchin and Van der Linden are thereabouts. Alex Diaz is having a good run at the moment. He's in 11th place with Carbo, his teammate, in 12th.
And just behind these two.
Oh, whoa, what's on the Baldy? Baldy's just pulled off at turn 1.
Wow.
Where's he going? I'm not sure. There we go, he's come back on the track now, but yeah, he's had a big moment.
He's had a Kimi Räikkönen moment there.
I know it was at turn 4, sorry, I thought it was at turn 1, it was at turn 4.
Paul just completely what happened there?
I'm not sure what's happened, but he's dropped backwards anay. He's had a bit of the Kimi Räikkönen in Brazil last year, hasn't
he? He's got fed up with the race and decided to go home. But he's gone the wrong way about it, because he's now down in 15th. He's now... He's last now because he's behind Varga and also behind Marconi, who's actually got ahead of Varga. I'm talking about Alex Diaz. He's now just making his second stop of the race. He's now just made it from what was 11th. So that means that his teammates, who Cabo's gone through.
Scott, a point on what you were saying there about being in 15th place. I can't believe how high the attrition rate's been around here. It's not usually a place where you get high attrition in terms of crashes, maybe in terms of the brake failures and engine, because I mean at the moment we've got 27 degrees ambient temperature and 35 degrees track temperature. So it's pretty warm out there, so engines and brakes do get hot, but it's more been accidents we've had at the moment.
It is. We haven't had anything engine fails, engine or suspension failures. It's more been kind of driver error that's been causing it, and it's been rather unfortunate. Now then, look at the battle for second. Look, Moran has closed right up on the back of Calamise now, and I think he's going to make a pass into turn 1. In fact, looking back from, he's already alongside. And to show just how much straight line speed he's got. Now let's see, come on, no cheeky tactics now around this time. A clean pass is what we want down towards turn 1.
Oh, he moved back towards the middle of the track.
Ooh, yes, just about.
He was far right and moved back towards the middle, which was okay, but he was getting very to the left under braking and got the job done. So Calamise has gone backwards into 3rd now, and where's Jack Keithley? Jack Keithley's quite a way behind De Witt. Oh, he's closing in on him though. Great job here from John-Eric Saxon. He's come under the heavy fire from Kostadinov, but still, Saxon holds in front of Kostadinov. Now, Kostadinov was lapping quicker than Saxon at one stage. He does have a fast lap that's 2 turns quicker than Saxon, but Saxon, with an outstanding job here at the moment, is running in 6th in front of the Brem GP car.
I'll tell you what, Moran is flying. His last lap time around, compared to Huis did a 34.5, but climbs to the 34.8. Moran's a 33.9. He was at least 6/10 quicker than both Huis and Calamise. So, yes, there are alternate strategies, but you have to say, on these tyres, Moran's got the sweet spot on them, and he's absolutely flying.
No, they're working for him at the moment, and you can't fault him for that. They really are. He is absolutely on it at the moment, and now that Calamise has been dispatched with, I'm sure the team have been on to Huis and said, look, he's coming after you. And Bonner Huis will be well aware that he's now got Morgan Moran steaming up behind him, and Huis coming up on traffic as well. Peter Varga and Gogo Baldi, I believe, just in front of him, as he comes across the line to set a 134.2 for Bonner Huis. 34.2 plays a 34.7, so Huis was quick on that lap.
He was actually up on that first sector by 4/10, I think possibly due to the fact that Moran had to combat Calamise, as Baldi and Varga, who were both teammates with Netrex last year, of course now Brem GP, who are is the sister team, if you like, to Netrex in the World Championship.
De Witt's pitted. Sorry there, Scott, but De Witt is just pitted for the Crown 7 Netrex team. He has decided to make his stop. We're on lap 36, so that's quite an early stop. Again, that's a kind of a no-man land stop. I'm not too sure what he decided to go on to there. We'll see on terms of his pace in just a moment. I would have thought he's gone to the hard tyre.
Yeah.
21 laps to the end. That's doable. Yeah, I would suspect what he's done. That's probably hard tyres towards to the end now, I reckon, for Patrick DeWitt.
I reckon so. I mean, well, if Moran can make his last about 25 laps, and there's no reason why DeWitt can't make his last 21.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And obviously he's on much lower fuel load now as well, so he'll be able to conserve them much better. So yeah, I'd say that's hard tyres to the end now for DeWitt.
I'll tell you what's intriguing is that even though he's been overtaken by Moran, Calamis isn't letting him get away too much. He's still there or thereabouts. Looking at the sector times,
yeah, half second.
They pretty much matched each other.
Whoa! What just happened there for Woodwiss? Baldy, I think he's just had a moment going to the final corner, and it's caught out Bono Woodwiss.
Have a look. Oh, that was close. I think. Let me just have a look at that on the other camera. But he rejoined. Varga took advantage. Oh, that was so close. Woodwiss was almost taken out. Of course, Baldi. Well, that was questionable rejoin from Baldi. The car was half spinning, but Woodwiss was excellent reactions to anchor that one up as quickly as he did, and that could have been a major compromise for our race leader.
He lost quite a lot of time then as well. He lost quite a big chunk of time, in fact. So Moran is actually allowed to close. It's allowed Moran to close. But you're right, Calamis is not letting Moran go at all. He's got past him, but he's not letting him get away. So this is good. This is good pace here for Calamis at the moment on the back of Morgan Moran. Now Moran's got the trouble of Gergo Baldi, who's just had that big moment in front of Bono Woodwiss and probably would have given him the fright of his life. And Bono Woodwiss is now coming up onto the back of Peter Varga and Giuseppe Marconi.
I'd imagine Woodwiss was firmly clenched in that car, but
yeah.
But Woodwiss is still carrying on. He's now going to try and let's see. His next project's going to be lapping Varga and Baldi take 2, shall we say, without getting incidents. But looking back to the sector times and from Moran and Calamis, let's quickly have a look and see what their sector time is. Again, they're matching each other in these sectors. I mean, Moran was 10th quicker in sector 1. The Calamis has clawed it back with a personal best sector 2. So
33.9 there for Bono. That was 33.9 for Bono and a 34.3 for Morgan Moran. So Woodwiss actually lapped quicker on that lap. But now he's behind Varga.
So, in fact, he's trying to get past him now.
And he's held him up as well, going from turn 2 and 3. He tried to get out of the way, but he just held him up right as Bono was getting on the power there.
Yeah, and Baldi also had another trip somewhere because he went wide at turn 1 as well. So he's obviously having a bit of a difficult time out there at the moment. Woodwiss has managed to get past him now, and he's now going to try and chase after Giuseppe Marconi, who is but Marconi's a stalwart of FSR, really. He doesn't surprise very much, and that's no offence at all to Marconi, because that's nothing taken away from his driving skill. But he's usually one of those very consistent drivers that he doesn't necessarily have to have all the pace, but he's always usually there at the end of the race. He always seems to get the car home, and that's always a very consistent one. And
he's pulled out of the way. That's good driving there for Marconi as well. He's seen that he's coming, and he's actually navigated himself out the way quite nicely. So good work there from Giuseppe Marconi. As Bono Woodwiss now continues on at 4 seconds, a gap between Woodwiss and Moran. Woodwiss is really trying to push on these very worn tyres, I would have thought by now as well.
Absolutely. In fact, for one second, thought, where has Marconi gone? Oh, there he is. I thought for a second he disappeared somewhere, but he's
just in front of Peter Varga still.
Yes, there he is. I was looking through the positions. I've forgot the fact I was looking through first, second, third. So I thought for a second Marconi completely disappeared off the screen, but he is still there, battling actually for position with Varga. So intriguing. Oh, in fact, Marconi almost loses the back end completely, and that's a pretty much easy pickings for Varga. Pretty much, though, Marconi's going to fight him side by side down the straight. Not going to let him go too much, but I think Varga may just have the measure. That's Baldi in the pits. I think yes, it is. A Baldi pitting from, well, effectively it's last on the road, and he's now making his stop. No, he's out. Right, Baldi's out. So whether or not he said.
That doesn't really surprise me. He's had some big moments in the last couple of laps, and I think he's probably decided to park the car.
Enough's enough, I think.
And enough's enough, yes. We're down to just 14 runners now.
Incredible. Out of 22 that started. Out of 22 that started. So, and most of those cars, we had quite a few cars retire on the first lap, which is a shame. And we've seen other racing leagues as well. Even though these cars got launch control, it doesn't prevent from the fact that we still get start line incidents. I saw in the background it was all happening.
Well, rather than getting start line incidents as such, you seem to get them into the actual corners, and so it doesn't really matter if you use launch control or you don't use launch control. There's always going to be an incident somewhere with a lot of cars piling into one very tight corner, especially turn 1 and turn 4 here in particular. So it's pretty tough for them.
That's interesting. I just watched this. I don't know what Moran was there. He came out of turn 10, then he didn't lose traction. But I think he's trying to distract Varga, I think.
He's losing time because Woodwiss is out to 5 seconds. Woodwiss has really picked up. In fact, both Precision have just generally picked up their pace. Because Calamies just got a massive run on Moran because Moran got stuck behind Peter Varga as well. So this is going to work for Calamies. He's coming back at Moran. Moran's pace just seems to have dropped completely now in this mid part of the stint for him, which has not been ideal whatsoever. And Calamies is chasing down Morgan Moran. And he might challenge him back into turn 1 because Moran's pace has just disappeared.
Here he comes.
Oh, he's done it again! That late move. Oh, that fights the life out of me every time. Why does Moran do that so late? He moved very, very late on Calamies. Calamies is coming around the outside of him. No, he's not. But Calamies is definitely challenging Moran again.
I'll tell you what, if you ever make it to the World Championship, I think you'll be, hopefully you don't come up against that move from Morgan Moran, I think once or twice. I think you
God, no, I saw Mark Webber do it before and I thought it was bad enough.
But Moran is definitely, to be fair, he did only move once. Effectively, the rules, going back to real F1 rules, they do say you can only defend your line once.
Oh, big dive!
Inside! It's slight contact, I think, but Calamies has forced him wide. That was a very late charge from Calamies. I think trying to get his own back on Moran. He'll have the outside run. Moran stays up the inside, up towards turn 9. He gets it back again. That's a very daring move. Moran goes deep.
Way too deep.
And Calamies gets it. So Calamies up to second. I think that was kind of like, you're going to try and push me against the pit wall. Well, you can have that in return.
Calamies is helping his own race, but no, he's just helped Bono Huis nowhere now.
Absolutely.
That's nearly 7 seconds for Huis.
And also, Keithy's going to be watching that as well, because Keithy's not too far away.
He's not. 3 seconds. He's closed the gap as well, so the Precision guys on these tyres at this point are running very sweetly. Oh, Moran spun! Oh, has he?
Oh,
wow,
how did he catch that?
That was incredible. He slid completely sideways, and he just power slid all the way through turn 13. Yeah, he power slid all the way through the corner, went off the track and got it back.
He didn't even touch the curb. Didn't even touch the curb as well. He did it all himself under braking, so the rear just locked up. And that's now, of course, remember, of course, we said about Keithy, you said that both the Precision cars had come to light with their pace. That Keithy will be rubbing his, well, not literally rubbing his hands in the cockpit, hypothetically he'll be smiling away in that helmet thinking, I'm going to have you in a moment, because he seems to be obviously struggling on those tyres right now. And I think Moran's getting frustrated because he's making 1 or 2 errors and risky moves at the moment.
Absolutely awesome the way he passed it through turn 13 there, though.
I'm pretty sure at that rate, I think he should try it for the D1 Grand Prix Championship. So that with counter steering that good, that'll be fantastic. He'll earn himself 100 points straight away, in my opinion. But look at this, and look at that. Marconi's got straight out of the way of Keithley, and you see just how much he's closed. Look at, in fact, he's closed right up. Look at this. He's really closed up. Last time, that time right, there was a 38.0 from Moran because of that mistake, and Keithley's on a 34.0. He was quicker than Huis. 4 seconds quicker. Keithy is the man on the move. He's absolutely flying at the moment. He's on a charge.
He's absolutely on it.
He's 4 seconds quicker. That's incredible. And it was 10th quicker than Huis, I should might add, as I said.
Yeah, well, Huis did that 33. Well, no, he's just going even quicker now. He's just on 33.9, but Keithy's done 34.0, and he's all over the back of Moran. Moran is definitely struggling here at the moment because Keithley's there and he's ready to pounce. He's fallen to nearly 4 seconds behind. Has Moran gone on soft tyres in this mid-stint?
He may have done.
The pace not been great, because if that's the case, that pace in the mid-stint's not been particularly anything to write home about.
Well, let's see
what's he going to do. Oh, oversteer, trying to catch rid of. Oh, he is pitting. So into the pit lane. This is still early to get the soft tyre to the end. I'm not too sure what he's done here.
Well, it has to be soft tyres. He cannot go to the hard tyres again unless he's done the soft tyres this stint, which I don't know. He may have done.
Surely not. That pace is not good enough.
If this is the soft tyres, then you'd have to think that he's going to be in a worse position grip-wise than he was just then, because he's losing more time by the end of the race. So again, Moran's he's not been fantastic. He's come back out behind Peter Varga.
15 to go, isn't it? Really? On the soft.
Apparently,
he's gone back out on the soft tyre, so he's on soft. I still don't think this is the optimum way to go. I don't think hard, soft's the optimum way to go. And if he's on the soft again, he's got to run all the way to the end on soft tyres, with the fact that the guys in front
are going to be on fresh tyres near the end.
Jack's in the most ideal position here because he's got to go onto the soft.
That's right.
Running longer and with better pace, and I don't reckon he'll come out in for another couple of laps though yet even.
So, even though Huis has been leading, I reckon it couldn't get a situation. We could be seeing Jack Keithy in contention for the race victory here. Obviously, it's early days yet with about 17 laps to go, but
it depends how far Huis and Calamise go. They might even go to the end on hard tyres. I'm not even too sure. But Keithley's in a good window to certainly jump Moran, I would have thought here. Moran's going to have great pace now. That's what we've got to remember. Moran's going to have great pace now because Keithley's yet to stop. So Keithley will pound around for a few more laps. He will then stop, likely come out behind Moran because they were fairly close together. But Keithley is going to have much fresher tyres and basically sprint it all the way to the end. As long as he gives himself enough laps to catch Moran, he should be alright, because as soon as Moran starts battling, his tyres just go off a cliff.
They do indeed, and Moran, I think, his tyre management hasn't been fantastic. He's probably stopped in the wrong points, and the strategy, as we said, hasn't been optimum. But what's quite intriguing is that look what we've got for the moment in the top 4. It's all precision cars, isn't it? We've got it's precision GT Omega, because remember, GT Omega are now a substitute, or they're partnered up with precision now. So effectively, it's precision whitewash
behind as well. So the Brem GP cars are running quite nicely as well. But it is currently a top 4 of Precision Motorsports.
I'm sure secretly in your head you're smiling, aren't you, Nick? Because Nick is a precision driver, of course, so it's
not saying anything.
There's no comment, is there? Let's have a look. But there we go. But there we go. Yeah, but precision first to fourth, and then we've got obviously Moran's chasing after Keith to it in 6th, and Kostadinov in 5th. But it's pretty intriguing. Oh,
Calamise, he's coming to pit lane. The GT Omega Viva Calamise has dived into pit lane. This will be for the final time and probably a sprint home on soft tyres, I would have thought.
I think Keith isn't, no, Keith is not. No, but Calamise, sorry, Saxon and the Kostadinov are in as well.
Yes, so Saxon's come in and Kostadinov have come in, so that'll be for the soft tyres to the end as well. I would have thought Calamise has gone out on softs as well to get to the end of the race. You can do it from here just about... Yeah. Wow, look at the traffic he's come out into. That's Morgan Moran. He's come out in front of Moran, and that's track position. That is overall track position for either Calamise. That's worked beautifully. So Calamise is in front of Moran. Now Moran's tyres are much warmer, and he's into his stint already. So Calamise needs to make these tyres work now. So that's track position for Calamise, and they've stopped for the final time as well. So Calamise can now just pull away from Moran. DeWitt's there as well. Where's Saxon? Saxon's come out with a 4/10 advantage over Dion Kostadinov. He's done it in terms of pit stops, and he kept in front of the Brem GP driver. Great job, John-Eric Saxon there. And Moran is behind Calamise. And Jack Keithley and Bonihuis will be the next ones to stop. And this will be their final stops as well. So into the final corner, Bonihuis comes. Will he pull right? I would have thought this is the opportune moment probably to do it. He does.
Yes, he does.
Race leader Bonihuis is diving into pit lane for the final time. And Jack Keithley is coming into the final corner now, and he will accelerate up, and he will also pull right into pit lane. So they've both pulled into pit lane at the same time. So away Bonihuis goes in front of Carbo as well. Good work, Bonihuis, as Keithley's going to come into pit lane. He's in pit lane now. He's going to be going onto the soft tyres. He'll sprint it to the end as well. Now remember that Morgan Moran has already gone onto those soft tyres. Calamise goes through, and Moran goes through as well. Now Moran's been lapping much quicker, but now Keithley, how much have you got to go to the end? You've got
13 laps,
16 laps to get to the end, and 5 seconds behind Morgan Moran. So you've got to put. So he's got to push now. He's really got to push if he wants to get up onto the podium. He's got a few laps extra over Morgan Moran, and he's got to push like crazy. And Moran has got the carrot, if you like, of either Calamise in front of him, trying to chase him down. It depends if, obviously, Calamise is on much fresher tyres. So that's worked out for him. And it's a case of now, can Keithley catch DeWitt and Moran?
Well, DeWitt hasn't stopped for a while, so he's still. I'm actually still going to make one more stop to make. I reckon either he's going to the end on these hard tyres, which if that's the case, of course, he's going to be caught by Keithley pretty quickly. Because now he's literally on a fresh set of sort of soft tyres.
Yeah, Saxon and Kostadinov are behind Zipley as well. I would have thought Zipley's got to stop again as well. So Zipley and I would have thought DeWitt have got to come through the pit lane once again. Unless they've run long on the hard tyres, which means they've actually got to navigate their way round them. So Keithley is 2.8 seconds behind Patrick DeWitt, and John-Eric Saxon is basically right behind Marco Zipley already. So this is game on for P6.
And looking now, we're trying to see what the pace is now in these closing stages now. Morandi's now, let's look at the lap times as they go across the board. Moran set the fastest first sector of anyone. He's a tenth faster than Calamay, so he's gone purple in sector 1, but he's lost time, of course, because of how sector 2 winds, and it's the twisty section through sector 3. He lost 4 tenths. He's lost a further tenth on this lap as well, as Calamay sets a 32.0, sets the fastest lap of the race. So Calamay's fastest man on track, of course. Fui sets a 1 minute 48, but that's obviously an out lap, so it doesn't really count that lap time. But compared to the out lap of Keithley, he was 3 tenths quicker than Keithley on that out lap. So I think Queese has also had some fairly clear air as well, so he's been able to set a pretty good pace on these fresher tyres now.
He is in completely clear air at the moment. Calamay is coming up to the back marker of Carbo fairly shortly, and Moran has fallen to 1.5 seconds behind. DeVitt is 3.6. Keithley's close to 1.4 already. Saxon has already got by Zipley. Sorry, I missed that down in turn 1, but Saxon's by Zipley, and Kostadinov has also got by Zipley as well. So they're up to 6th and 7th respectively, but they've got the battle of Marconi and Varga just in front of them, which has been battling for 20-odd laps now, I think, between those two. Oh, wow, they got so close to each other, and Saxon was so late on the brakes. Varga pulls over, and I suspect Marconi will do the same thing, but he doesn't want to lose out to Varga too much here. And they're both letting him go, so good work from the pair of them. And Kostadinov, what's he going to do? Ooh, too deep, he's going to nudge Kostadinov off. So Marconi has just nudged him off slightly. Varga's now got the run on the Marconi, as Zipley is due to make his stop. He's come up behind Peter Varga now as well, who's got out of the way. And Kostadinov's fallen to a second behind John Eric Saxon. Breathing space for John Eric Saxon. That's crucial for the GT Omega driver there. And Keithley is just 8 tenths behind DeVitt.
The definite pushing it, and it was kind of like looking at that when Marconi and Varga didn't know where to go, because they kind of got caught up in someone else's battle, which they really didn't want. As Zipley, as you said, does head into pit lane to make his final stop. I think he's one of the last stoppers. That battle's still going on between... Oh no, it's Cole! Huge incident! And that's Vargas out of the race. He spins across track. He's lost both his front and his rear wing. Now, was that Well, let's have a look at the... 4-minute surgeon, let's look at the replay. Something tells me that Marconi moved more than once. Let's have a look. It goes towards the pit lane, and Varga... Oh, that was... a half meter.
Zipley and Van der Linden have just pitted now also. Zipley's just come out in 8th. Van der Linden has come out behind Yannick Lachin. Yannick Lachin's gone through in 9th position. Van der Linden for positive Biocross, or Biocross positive racing, SimRacing, has come out in 10th. So Van der Linden is 10th. Diaz is in 11th. Carbo 12th. Marconi 13th.
Oh.
So it's going to be game on for a few of these positions. Oh wow, DeWitt and Keithley are going through turn 13. Cut back for Jack Keithley here. That's worked out nicely for him. So as long as he doesn't lose much more time, this is going to be absolutely dream for Jack Keithley. Oh, slight nudge there, but Keithley goes through. So Keithley goes up into 4th place, and now has 9 laps to chase down Morgan Ran, who is 6.5 seconds further down the road. DeVitt's coming back at him though. This is going to be nasty into the braking zone. Very, very late for DeVitt. Can he get it done? No. And Keithley holds on, and he should get the run up towards turn 4. He does. Job done, Jack Keithley.
I'll tell you what, it's fantastic to see Patches a bit near the front again. He's a testing couple of seasons with, more recently with Matt Core, and then of course the previous year with Fast and Speed. It's nice to see him back at the front again. He had a real advantage coming into 2013. He was the Winter Series champion when we used R Factor 2 with the Formula Renault 3.5 cars, and it was a very deserved Winter Series championship. So Vargas seems to have found his pace again. He's found his racing spirit once again. Now he's back with Netrex, and 5th place in only his 2nd race with Netrex this season 2013. He really is impressing so far initially in the outset with his new team.
He absolutely is. So a case of now is what can Jack Keithley do about Morgan Moran? Keithley's tyres, remember, are a few laps younger than Morgan Moran. Morgan Moran is holding good pace though, very, very good pace. But it is now all down to, can Jack Keithley lap faster than Morgan Moran? At the moment it's not really happening for him. Moran's having some good pace. He's just coming into the final corner now. His current, he's come up to the final corner now, up to the line, sorry. It's a 1:33.0 there for Morgan Moran. Coming out of the final corner for Jack Keithley, it is a 1:32.6, so 4 tenths So Jack is running faster than Morgan Moran at the moment.
Fastest man on track at the moment appears to be Marco Zippoli. He's at the fastest first sector of anyone so far with a 29.6. And I'll tell you what, a couple of laps ago, Woodwiss has just moved the benchmark for the fastest lap because everyone else is doing 32s. He went and pumped in a 1:31.7 a couple of laps ago, so he's the first man to 31s. And we're getting slightly closer to qualifying pace almost. In fact, I think we've gone past qualifying pace. No, not quite. We've still got about another second to find as the fuel burns down. Now, in the first sector already, how has Keithley closed in? Let's have a look. Well, Moran did a 29.7. Keithley, and Keithley a 29.8. So he's lost a tenth in the first sector. But it's pretty equal. There's about a couple of hundredths in it. So they've matched each other in the first sector. So Moran's got a response here for Keithley. You can see him coming, as just in the background, Patrick de Wit goes past Zoo Heights Cabo. Yes, he does in the Jasco Spain PSR car. Meanwhile, also looking at that, we've lost Peter Vargas as a result of the incident, and there was also a moment for Marconi through turn 10. So he recovered from that 1.5 spin, but he managed to get it going again, so not too much drama there. But I'd imagine the stewards would want a word with Marconi after the incident, because it looked as though Marconi moved twice on his line, but that's only from what I could see on the replay.
Yeah, Morgan Moran comes across to complete another lap. It's a 32.7. That's a much better lap there for Morgan Moran. 32.7 and plays a 32.5. So 2/10 still advantage for Jack Keithley, but it's too much at the moment. It's nearly 6 seconds, and I don't think there's enough laps. There's only 7 laps left, so he needs to be lapping about a second a lap quicker, and he's just not doing that at the moment. He's got to hope that Moran's tyres just fall off the edge of the cliff in the last few laps.
So someone who is glad he's on the soft tyres, that's Marco Zippoli. He's on the soft tyres now, and he's absolutely sailing along at the moment. He's lost a lap around. I'll tell you what, you thought Woodwiss's best time was quicker, 31.789. Zippoli pumps at a 1:31.780, so he's got 9 thousandths quicker than Brian Woodwiss. Bear in mind, of course, they are on newer tyres, but Zippoli's showing a real turn of pace in this final stage.
Yeah, Zippoli's having a good run. He's 19 seconds behind Kostadinov, so that's not really working out. Saxon is 1.2 in front of Kostadinov at the moment, so he's having a good race, is John-Eric Saxon. Patrick de Wit, obviously, he's not stopping again. So Saxon is 5.8 seconds behind Patrick de Wit at the moment, so de Wit's had a very, very strong day today.
He has, as I said. I think
and so Saxon, actually, on that note. So both of them have. Yeah,
they both have. They've been in FSR for quite a while now, so it's good to see them back up in the front and having good days. I should actually mention that on the last time around, I think the last laps, Saxon was quicker by 0.8 of a second. So I reckon at the pace they're going, I think there's enough laps. I think I'm going to stick my neck out here, and so I think Saxon's going to catch de Wit. But then, well, look at the gap. What's the gap?
Oh wow! Sorry, 33.2 for Moran and a 32.5 for Woodwiss. That was a big chunk of time taken out there. Sorry for Jack Keithley. That was a big chunk of time taken out there for Jack Keithley.
Well, he's got enough laps.
Just over. It's 5.2 seconds the gap now.
Yeah, he's got 7 laps. At that rate, I think he might just, unless Moran's. I think if Moran's
see him, but I don't think he'll get him.
Yeah, I think he might just miss out on the podium. I think so. Moran's. I think in some ways, even though his pace on the fresh when his tyres been fresh has been good, I think you can safely say in some ways Moran's lucky to get himself a 3rd place, because I think really the cars around him, such as Calamay's and Keithley, have had, I think, overall a better strategy and a slightly stronger overall race pace across the
Keithley is coming at him, but of course the advantage that Morgan Moran has is he's got very, very good straight line speed, and he's not one to get out of a battle, shall we say? He likes to put his elbows out and then some. So he's not one to back down very easily, even if Jack Keithley is coming at him. Like I said, not massively quickly though at the moment, but Morgan Moran is lapping. He's doing enough to keep Jack Keithley at bay. It's down to 4.8 seconds now.
And yeah, Moran's definitely one of the drivers. He doesn't, in some cases, doesn't really know when to give up or know the word give up, the phrase give up, because
32.8 there for Morgan Moran. So that was a better lap for him that time round. 32.5 for Keithley again. So it was only a couple of attempts that time by. So he's got himself calmed down again as Morgan Moran, and just maintaining and holding the gap of 5 seconds at the moment.
Yeah, Keith is closing, but not by enough. So I think, as you say, Keith, unless something major happens to Moran, again, we don't want to curse it, but unless something major happens to Moran in these final few laps, I think pretty much it's almost game, set and match for third place, I think. De Wit's now on his own in 5th, but we've still got Saxon closing on him. What was the laps last time around? Well, Saxon did well, they matched each other, in fact. No, they didn't. It was, but De Wit did a 33.7 and Saxon was 7/10 up. So Saxon's still closing, and in fact he's almost kind of bringing Kostadinov with him, who's just had to try and make his way around Zuhac's Cabo in the sole remaining Jasco Spain PSR car. Zipoli behind them is... his soft tyres have dropped off because he did a 33.4, so that initial pace just proves how quickly if we use them up, how quickly these soft tyres just fall off the cliff and they fall away from you. Because
well, it's happening with the hards as well, because I've just noticed that Saxon's taking over 2 seconds out of De Wit. It's down to 4.4 seconds. That was nearly 6 at one stage, so Saxon's starting to come at De Wit. I'm not too sure if there's going to be enough laps left to be able to get him, but he's definitely coming at him. Same way that Keithley's coming at Morgan Moran, but again, I don't think there's going to be enough laps left for anything to happen. So it's worked out currently for them, as Keithley is pushing on. Most definitely, he's just locked up going into the final corner there, as Morgan Moran goes through once again. He's 3 seconds behind Calamise and 4.9 seconds in front of Jack Keithley.
Wonder how Ivar Calame's brakes are holding up at the moment, because dare I say that, of course, because remember he fell out of the race with 2 laps to go due to brake failure. So
yeah,
I think he's hoping.
Should be okay.
They should be. I
be.
think he's hoping in that cockpit lightning doesn't strike twice. So, but he's holding on nicely and he's keeping the distance to Moran. So I think this will be, if he holds it here, which it looks like he will, this will be the second place, which I think a lot of people will feel that he should have got in Australia had it not been for the brake failures. I think in some ways this will make up for the disappointment of Melbourne, I think.
Yeah, possibly so. We'll have to see if that is the case. Keithley, all the gaps now that we thought might come a little bit closer together at this point in time on lap 53 have stabilised. So Moran to Keithley is 4.5 seconds and Saxon to De Wit is also 4.5 seconds. So everything has just stabilised and I think settled now. The gap between the race leader, Woodwiss, to Ivar Calamise is 3.4 seconds. This might be actually one of Woodwiss's smallest margins of victory in a while.
Yeah, for a long time. I don't remember when it was such a small margin of victory before, because usually we're accustomed to Woodwiss just kind of just grabbing the lead and saying, okay boys, see you later, and I'll see you at the finish line. And it's kind of just he normally dominates and sails off into the distance, and you see the second place driver coming home about 15, 20, 30 seconds later. So Woodwiss, I think, to be fair, he's been kept honest by Calamise in terms of pace, and of course Moran also. So
I think the battle with Moran has slightly helped Calamise a bit, because he closed quite a large chunk on that when he was on that stint of tyres. But I think it was enough. I still think Calamise had enough that he would have finished at least at this pace, or even maybe out to about 5 seconds, but nothing really. It's at 3.7 at the moment. So I think Ivar Calamise has had a superb run here today. He's hurt. Oh, now Moran has actually taken a couple of tenths out of Calamise on the last lap there. So, and Keithley's actually taken even more out of Moran. It's down to 3.8. So Keithley's charging. I still don't think he's going to be able to get him. It'll close, but I don't think he'll get him enough.
I'll tell you something, De Wit's still got life in his tyres, because he just set a personal best of a 31.196 compared to Saxon, who was a tenth slower. So maybe De Wit hasn't taken all of his tyres. Maybe he was playing a bit safer, just holding his tyres through the last couple of laps, and now the team have got on the radio saying, well, come on, Saxon's coming out, you've got to go move on, and he has done.
Well, I think the fact that Saxon has also got Kostadinov pretty much crawling over the back of him as well.
Yeah. See, obviously that's proving a distraction for Saxon, of course. And that's interesting, because those two they haven't been able to get rid of each other in some races. They've always
Kostadinov was obviously in front, and then he made a mistake, and Saxon's been in front, and no position change. So they've been running at each other's pace all day long. Pretty
much. So really, it's kind of like, one with this race, it's kind of been like one can't exist without the other, because really, wherever you've seen Saxon, Kostadinov has always been there. So these two have pretty much matched each other race pace, which is pretty good to see. I think Kostadinov, of course, he'll miss out on the podium again, because I think he was disappointed with the fact that his Melbourne strategy didn't really work out, because of course in the last couple of laps he was passed by both in the end of the lap he was passed by Calamise before he went out of the race, then he was passed by Keithley, then Nilsson on the last couple of corners. So at this point the Kostadinov is going to have to settle for 7th on this case. Hasn't really had the same kind of race pace up near the front, or I think he's learnt his lesson from Melbourne not to go too long on the strategy. So he's definitely trying to follow the example of Saxon, and so it seems to work because they seem to have always been in close proximity to each other throughout the race.
Yep, they have been very, very close to each other all throughout the race. Still pushing on towards the front here as well. Keithley is 2.7 seconds behind Moran at the moment. And not really close. He is closing, but like I said, I think they'll run out of laps, which is he'll run out just before the end, I think, and he won't get close enough.
37 though, he took 9/10 of a second out of Moran on that last lap. It was a 33.5 for Moran compared with 36.
He's definitely coming at him, but I just don't think it's quite going to be enough for him.
Well, we're coming into the start of the penultimate lap now, and looking at the sector time, how do they go through sector 2? Keithley, he's found, oh, well, look at that, he's found another 7/10 of a second, so this, well, he's found 3/10 on it, he's found already a second on this lap already. So maybe it's not over, because they've come across the line now. What's the gap this time as I quickly look at my screen?
2.5.
2.5. Maybe, it depends. Unless Moran decides really do fall off in these last couple of laps, I think this is going to be close. I can't really call it.
It will be close, but I think Moran's just going to be able to hold on, and he's locked quite a few times on that previous lap, but he's still made the apex of the corner, so there's still enough life to be able to just eke out those extra few tenths that's required to stay in front, although I'm sure in his rear view mirror he's going to start seeing a Precision Motorsports car coming at him. And he's taken a few more tenths out on this lap already as Jack Keithley. God, this has been very close.
3.5 tenths to be precise. And DeWitt's done another personal best. He said he's getting another personal best in the first sector, 33.0 for DeWitt compared to a 33.1. And Kostadinov pretty much lapping at the same pace that DeWitt is as well. So
we've just lost Giuseppe Marconi just before turn 12 as well. He's had a bit of a moment. So Marconi, we're down to just 11 runners.
As his engine failed. That's cruel luck. He was almost going to see the flag, but unfortunately his engine's given out with on the penultimate lap, which is a rather shame. And yeah, so we're now down to just 11 cars at the end of the race, and we'll only have one car finishing that's been lapped. And our race leader, Woodwiss, is about to start his final tour of the Sakir circuit. And you have to say, he's been, even though he has been kept on,
he's on to the last lap, and look at the gap between Keithley and Moran.
Oh wow!
It's under a second. He's taken so much time out of him in that first sector. That's on that last lap. That's incredible. It's underneath a second. Can Jack Keithley catch Morgan Moran on the final lap? Big lock up into turn 1 goes Morgan Moran. His tyres have faded and Keithley's have held on, and Keithley's pushing. He is really pushing. He's half second behind Morgan Moran. He's going to try and chase him down before the end of this race. Woodwiss is down towards turn 6. And here we go. Jack Keithley has really caught Morgan Moran in the past 3 laps. That's very impressive pace for Jack Keithley. He's just got to try and find a point where he can get by him. Oh, a little bit too much curb. That's cost him going down towards turn 8. He'll get late on the brake, so that should give him those few tenths back. It does indeed, but Morgan Moran's struggling with pace. He's definitely getting closer as Jack Keithley. Ivor Calamise is 4.3 seconds in front of Morgan Moran, so that's working nicely for him. And Keithley is basically all over the back of Moran. Moran is wheel spinning out of turn 10 as they head down towards turn 11. And it's getting very close between these two drivers. And Moran has braked very late for turn 11 as Keithley gets on the power nice and early. Sorry, out of 10 up through 11 and 12. Oversteer, battling the oversteer, trying to hold the throttle in the corner. As Woodwiss is coming down to the last corner, but we look back and Jack Keithley's in the slipstream of Morgan Moran. He's going to get close. I don't think he'll get it done though as Woodwiss comes out the final corner and wins in Bahrain. A great drive for Woodwiss. Ivor Calamise is second. Oh, he's got him! He's got him! Has Jack got him? He has!
There was
Jack's
contact.
Gone through. He's in third. He's gone through.
There was contact though.
Calamise's gone in second. Jack Keithley is third. Morgan Moran's fourth. That might change. Patrick Lewitt's going to come across in 5th place. John-Eric Saxon is going to come across in a super 6th place. Kostanov's going to be coming across in 7th. But Keithley against Moran there. Well, Keithley's got this. He's not happy with Keithley. He's just nudged him at the back as well. And again, he's nudging him all over the place, in fact.
If we rewind to the replay, Keithley was in the strip, and Keithley, it was a do or die move into the last corner. Moran held his racing line. Keithley got a bit too desperate. He did. Well, I think there was looking at it, Moran did leave room on the inside, but I think Keithley just, it may seem like he dived a bit too much down contact. So Keithy may argue that Moran turned across it, that Keithy dived for it, but initially looking at it, you'd put Keithy to blame, but I think on second looks at it, it could be that was a racing incident, but Keithy, there was contact between the two cars, so that may be a hard result to call.
That is very, very tight to call. I mean, I just looked on the replay myself as well, and he's just, he was in the slipstream all the way, and he dived so late into the corner. Oh, controlled the rear of the car. He's nudged him out wide, so yeah, that's...
It's a hard one, isn't it?
That one, but that was, nevertheless, what a final lap that was between Keithy and Morgan Moran. That was absolutely superb racing what we've had here today.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be a fun one for the highlights package, that's for sure.
It is. That was, well, absolutely superb race there today. So Scott, I mean, what do you think overall, and your final thoughts?
Well, it was just one quickie before I give them is that unfortunately Marcel van der Linden didn't make the flag. He still classified 10th, but he didn't make the flag because he suffered a suspension failure for whatever reason on the final. Actually, still 10th, but. Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, compared to, again, not giving away the result, we had a fantastic Bahrain Grand Prix for real, and I think, in many ways, this afternoon's FSR World Championship race has definitely lived up to it. In some cases, it's been better. We've had quite a lot of overtaking, a very tense last lap, and where we had we can call that a controversial incident because it was interesting. But Morgan Ryan's actually raging in the chat saying there's seriously no respect and overtaking there, so he's obviously clearly not happy with Jack Keithy's run. But yeah, an intriguing race with the strategies. It's good to see a mix of strategies going on, but ultimately in the end it hasn't changed the end result. We've still got Woodwiss on top of the podium, but to be honest, he didn't have it easy because he was kept honest by the cars directly behind him.
He was kept very honest, and it was a wonderful end to the race there. It was Woodwiss that took it from Ivor Calamies and Jack Keithy in third. Those results probably a little bit pending at the moment from race direction to see what happens for Jack Keithy against Morgan Moran. Morgan Moran came across him fourth with Patrick DeVitt in a very, very thoroughly deserved fifth position from the sixth position of John-Eric Saxon with Kostanov in seventh place. So it's been a great race for Brem GP there today also.
Has indeed. That'll be valuable points for them to take away, of course. They'll be taking away 7. Well, they've only got one car to finish, of course. Peter Barker had the incident with Giuseppe Marconi, and the results gone off the screen. But so I think if we had to pick drivers if you had to pick the driver of the day, it's hard not to pick Woodwiss. I think in some ways it's a hard one to call really because there's probably quite a few drivers that be in contention for that. And Keithy drove a great race. It was probably spoiled by the last corner incident, I think. Calames has a redemption in some ways for his brake failure in Australia with second place. I think DeWitt did well to hold on to fifth place, so he's definitely showing more pace again now he's at NetRex. I think Sapoli did well as well to get to the finish and score himself a couple of points on his debut as well. So there's a lot of people that candidates you could give it to, but I think ultimately it's hard to deny. I think it's going to have to go to the race winner. I think Woodwiss has earned it once again.
Yeah, Woodwiss obviously had a great race. For me, I'm actually going to say Ivor Calamies. I thought Calamies was superb today. He held pace with Woodwiss throughout a lot of that race and closed that gap when Woodwiss was in quite a frantic battle. So for me, it's Ivor Calamies and also a shout for Patrick DeVitt, who I thought drove wonderfully well today. But nevertheless, we move on now. That's Bahrain Sakhir done, and we move on in 2 weeks' time to and that's on the 4th and 5th of May. We have the Shanghai Chinese Grand Prix. That's the one. China. We are at China for the next round, which, like I said, is in 2 weeks' time. Obviously, next weekend, remember, we have World Trophy. Due to the real F1 and the scheduling today, the World Trophy race will be next weekend, and that will be, again, on simrace.tv. And I think that's been a good race today, Scott, and we will rejoin everyone again in 2 weeks' time. So I'll sign this off for myself, Nick Rowland, and Scott Woodwiss, and not forgetting our broadcast director and also cameraman extraordinaire, Mr. Sam Jones. Thank you very much once again, Sam, and we will see you all again in 2 weeks' time.
Goodbye.